Okay. How's it going? So, today we're going over a couple of stories, not just one. Basically, I'm going to be covering some, I guess, funny, in a way, stories that, I mean, as the title suggests, nearly got me or my friends just straight up killed. So anyway, without further ado, the first time, or the first not time, but the first one that I can recall, rather, I was going for a bike ride with a mate in, I guess, what you could call the hills. So we were going through, like, farmland, essentially, and we were just going around, having a fun time riding around. There was, like, a creek that we crossed. It took us a while, because we had bikes with us, so we were crossing this creek with our bikes. Took ages. But anyway, so we eventually got over this creek. We're riding around in this farmland. It's a lot of fun. We're having heaps of fun. We're like staying out. Now, for reference time-wise, we started this ride after school finished, so around 3 o'clock here in Australia. And so we're riding around, having heaps of fun, and we lose track of time. Now, neither of us have phones on us, but I think my friend had a watch on him, and he realized, oh, it's getting a bit late. It was like getting to 6 o'clock or something, and we have no contact with our parents, so they don't know where we are or anything. They just know that we're riding our bikes. So anyway, we're like, alright, well let's start making our way home. So instead of going back the way we came, I think because we were lost, we didn't know where we were. So we're like, okay, stressing a teeny bit, but we're also kids, so we weren't really stressing. We were just like, no, we'll just keep riding, and eventually we'll find our way home. So anyway, we're riding, and we eventually find, like, fences and stuff. And we're just like, okay, that's not great. That kind of, like, indicates that's someone's property, so we can't go onto that. So we keep going, and eventually we find, like, a hill that goes down to the creek that we crossed. And we're like, okay, well, that's, like, a start. If we cross the creek, we're getting back towards where our houses are. So we, do the usual. We're like, alright, let's go down this hill, and let's get to the creek. So we're going, we're cruising, we're going down the hill, and it's getting kind of steeper and steeper, and it's getting a bit, a little bit scary, but we're like, nah, that's fine, like, we're like, somewhat athletic, we can get down this hill easily. So we keep going, and it gets steeper and steeper, to the point where it was nearly vertical. Like, we weren't really stepping down as much as we were just kind of letting our body fall and catching ourselves every time. It was a little bit dangerous, but it's whatever. Now, we got to the point eventually where we were close enough to the creek, and we saw people walking across. Not walking across the creek, but we're just walking on the other side. So we're like, cool, we're near civilization. We still had no clue where we were at this point. So we do the smart thing and we yell out. And they hear us and they're like, are you okay? And we're like, yes, but we need you to call our parents. Because we, at this point, are thinking, okay, our parents are probably shit scared. They probably have no clue what's going on, where we are, all that. So we were like, yeah, cool. I had my mum's phone number like off by heart. So I was like, cool, can you call this number and just tell her where we are? Because we, again, still didn't know where we were. So anyway, they call my mum, she is like on her way. Apparently it's nearby. We're like, okay, cool. So we keep going down. Now, for positional reference, I was below my friend. I had started first going down because I was thinking, like, oh, if I'm going to take the fall, I was a bit, I don't know, more athletic, so I would have taken the fall a little bit better. But I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll take the fall, it's fine if it happens, but, I'll be careful. So anyway, I'm going down, and I think from what I remember, because this was many years ago, I heard my friend say, like, something, or, like, gasp, yell, something like that. And I don't look up, but I'm looking straight, and all I see is him falling in front of me. Now, we are still, like, meters above where it gets flat, so I genuinely thought, I was like, oh my god, my friend's gonna die. Now, he continues to fall, like, a couple meters, and lands on his, I guess, like towards his lower back, towards his coccyx, his tailbone. And I was like, okay, stressed out. So I just like glided down the hill at this point. I like skidded down to get to him. And I obviously went up to him because he's like groaning, so he's obviously hurt. And I'm like pooping my pants. Sorry, shitting my pants. I don't know why I said pooping. So I'm stressed, and I'm obviously trying to make sure he's okay. So I'm frantically going like, oh my god, are you okay? This, that, everything else. And he seems to be okay. You know, I'm like, okay, that's alright. My mum gets there not long after, and you know, it was fine after that. But that just image of my friend falling in front of me off of like when I'm on a vertical hill genuinely was the scariest thing for a long time. Well, not a long time, but like it was a scary thing to see. But anyway, that's that story. That's how I almost witnessed a friend die. Now, this next story is also the same, a similar thing. I was boating with a mate. I've got a little tinny. It's kind of just like a small boat for Americans. I don't know whether they call them tinnies as well. But it's a small boat. And I'm sending it with a mate. We're like, I was 19 or 20 during this. So I'm like, now, that's how old I am roughly now. So I'm chilling, just driving the boat. Well, I think we were driving home. We'd been gone like out for a couple hours now. We were like, alright, because we were fishing. So we were driving home. And we were in the wake of another boat. Now, if you don't know what a wake is, essentially, if there's a boat in front of you, you'll have waves that start forming behind them because of how fast they're traveling. Now, it was a bigger boat, so the wake was pretty gnarly, and I wasn't really kind of accounting for that. So when I'm like, following in this person's wake, because I didn't really have another choice, we start to bounce a little bit. And my friend, I guess, he wasn't looking forward, he was looking at me at the back of the boat. So he kind of didn't see it coming and nearly, fell out of the boat while we were going like 20, 30 k's an hour. Now, obviously not life-threatening, but still pretty, especially for him, it was a bit of a jarring experience. And it kind of taught me, okay, I need to teach my friends who come with me to stay hands in the boat. Hands in the boat when driving. Anywho, a little bonus. No one actually got hurt in this next story. It's a quick one. I was with some friends, funnily enough, involving a cliff again. We were high up on a cliff, like, we'd been drinking and we were chilling out. And my friend was just stepping around, like, on the edge of this cliff, like, just nonchalant. And it was, like, not creeping me out, but it was scaring the shit out of me. It was a lot of fun, though. Like, I literally told him, I was like, okay, yeah, you, stop. I was like, can you get off that cliff, like, now? I was that scared for him. But anyway, those are the stories for today. If you enjoyed, same old, same old. If you enjoyed, I'm glad you enjoyed it. If you didn't, unluggers. Peace.